Welcome to another edition of the U.S. Office of Special Counsel's video series on the Hatch Act. Please be sure to visit our website at osc.gov to view the full series of videos. In this video, we will discuss the Hatch Act's use of official authority prohibition. This is a 24/7 restriction, which means that it applies to federal employees at all times, even when they are off duty and away from the workplace. It states, "The Hatch Act prohibits employees from using their official authority or influence for the purpose of interfering with or affecting the result of an election." This prohibition is at the heart of why there is a Hatch Act, to prevent employees from using their government position or agency resources to help a candidate or political party, and to protect employees from being coerced into engaging in political activity. There are three general types of activities that fall under the use of official authority prohibition: activity involving supervisors and subordinate employees, using one's official title or position while engaging in political activity, and using agency resources to engage in political activity. We will discuss in detail each type of activity. The Hatch Act's use of official authority restriction prohibits employees from coercing others to engage in political activity, and the supervisor-subordinate relationship has been found to be inherently coercive. Therefore, supervisors may not, for example, tell, ask, or suggest that subordinate employees vote a certain way, volunteer for a candidate's campaign, join or support a political party, attend a partisan political event, or engage in any other political activity. Let me give you some specific case examples of federal supervisors who violated this prohibition and lost their job as a result. The first case involved a supervisory attorney responsible for conducting Hatch Act training for her staff, who disregarded the rules and invited a subordinate to a political fundraiser, and in inviting the subordinate, acknowledged that this was a little outside of the rules. In the next case, a supervisor told his staff before an election why he planned to vote for a certain candidate, polled the staff by a show of hands to indicate who was voting for his candidate of choice, and then asked those who did not plan to vote for his candidate to explain their reasoning.
The Hatch Act's use of official authority restriction also prohibits employees from using their official title or position while engaged in political activity. This means that employees cannot engage in political activity while acting in their official capacity as federal employees. They can only engage in political activity while acting in a personal capacity as a private citizen. For example, if an employee writes a letter to the editor of his local newspaper detailing why voters should vote for or against a particular candidate, the employee cannot sign the letter with his official title and agency name. Doing so would give readers the impression that he is endorsing the candidate in his official capacity as a government employee, which the Hatch Act prohibits. An employee can only make that type of endorsement of a candidate when acting as a private citizen. Similarly, if an employee is speaking in her official capacity, say, for example, while giving a presentation at a government conference or during an interview with the media, the employee cannot engage in political activity by encouraging viewers to support the electoral success of a political party. And if an employee deals with members of the public as part of his official job duties, he should not, for example, discuss the merits of presidential candidates or otherwise engage in political activity when performing those official duties. Now let me give you some examples of real cases where an employee used their official position to engage in political activity in violation of the Hatch Act. One case involved a customer service representative at an agency who repeatedly encouraged individuals who called the agency hotline to vote for a presidential candidate. This employee would end the calls by spelling his name E as in elect, C as in candidate Smith, N as in November, and that case resulted in a 100-day unpaid suspension for those multiple Hatch Act violations. In another case, OSC filed a complaint against an administrative judge who made disparaging remarks about a political party and promoted the campaign platform of a presidential candidate, all while presiding over a deportation hearing. The judge retired during the litigation. However, she was found to have violated the Hatch Act and received a 30-month debarment from future federal employment and was ordered to pay a $1,000 civil penalty. Finally, the Hatch Act's use of official authority restriction prohibits employees from using agency resources to engage in political activity. So, for example, a federal agency's official website or social media account should not be used for political activity, and thus it should not include links to political parties or to partisan political groups. In addition, employees should not use non-public information, which is information they know by virtue of their government job, in order to assist a political campaign. And employees cannot require a person or company to contribute to a candidate in order to win a federal contract. all of these activities would violate the Hatch Act's use of official authority prohibition. This concludes our video on the Hatch Act's use of official authority prohibition. If you have any questions, please contact the U.S. Office of Special Counsel's Hatch Act Unit at 1-800-854-2824 or by email at hatchact@osc.gov.